An update on my what happened to me and my mother and why we are suffering like this. Why my mother had to suffer a painful death. In 2004, I returned after 1 year. What do you call? 1 year of travel in India. I stayed in my mother's home and explored Osho community, Rishikesh community, Agama Yoga, and several Indian. I was reading books like Robert Subodha. I was in the Highland and flying around. Had a lot of cash. I had a City Gold account and expended time in Kerala, India, because my mother had a house. And I returned in 2004 and I re-rented a space in Styrolin Apartments in Mountain View. In 2004, beginning, a traffic police Ismail harassed me when I was traveling in a Enfield motorbike, and that harassment made me leave India immediately. There is a criminal who manhandled me, and they are criminals responsible for my situation, my mother's death, and there is no legal system that I can use to fight with them. Uh, Approaching the legal system has caused my mother's death. So in 2004, I entered and I registered dhyaniyoga.info. It was with Yahoo domains, and I was renting in Sterling apartments. I had a City Gold account and enough cash to rent, and I bought a second-hand used car again, started over again. I started going to yoga studios, and I was more relaxed, and I went to Avalon Yoga Studios in Yoga Is Youth. I wanted a yoga woman to marry me. I wanted a yoga instructor mature to marry me, but they did not do it. So this is the sad part. They are more gayish people, gayish women enjoying their lives and not into marriage or relationship like Amy Rainer Starkey. So I was confused. I was in the wrong lookout. So I should be more with the trans tribe and traveling uh, type, and I made a mistake. I should have gone to Harvin Hot Springs in 2004. Anyway, whatever happened is my fate or karma, and in 2004 I wasted about a year time in doing yoga in yoga studios. It helped my back. I couldn't do Supta Vajrasana at that time. I had a lumbar lordosis and stiffness. My eating habits was not less faces. That means I used to consume a lot of onion Indian food, and I had a lot of pieces, and I was not aware of. I had less stomach intelligence. So I returned to India in 2005, and because of expending about $30,000 in Mountain View, I returned back to India, and then started exploring India and Nepal and Thailand. I landed in Thailand in 2005 as trying to do Agama Yoga TTC. I should have landed in 2004 in Thailand, but somehow this traffic police Ismail is responsible for the situation. He scared me and made me leave India immediately. Again, it's the legal system in India that's criminal. I have no doubt about it. The word law, the word law is a word. Uh, Everybody is a natural being. There are no laws in nature, only natural laws. They are using laws to control others' nature, and used a failed relation in the 90s to harm me and my mother like this. They won't change. They are tamasic people, afraid of death, and trying to survive with whatever they create news and whatever is the reason. So I returned started exploring. I had a permanent resident status. I enjoyed a little while. I traveled with my mother to Varanasi, and I remember going to meet Litsa Kapandias, thinking she would take care of me, and that did not happen. She moved to a big estate in Bellandain or something, and I met with her, and she reported she had a boyfriend or something, and that was rude, and I left. And then I went to Yoga Works teacher training. In the Yoga Works teacher training also, they did not introduce me to a woman like Amy Starkey. There was more with transgendered people. There was Jody Refty who did yoga TTC. I did not. I wasted about $10,000. That's a lot of money. Um, they have I have no returns from that investment. And after yogaworks.com, I returned again to India, and then I entered and filed a dispute in Santa Clara Superior Court with Sun Microsystem for not giving me option. That is a company running and employing people, employing colleagues. I know, like Loknath Das, and everybody was working in Sun Microsystems in 2007. So I should have been employed, and yoga is like I am of the class of software engineers. Yoga is like a practice I should have done, but there is some money involved in all this, and they called me a yoga enthusiast, but at the same time did not marry me and help me part of the community, and that is resulted in my mother's death. So there is some lack of ethics in this community-based. Community-based yoga communities. I ended Harbin and then I returned in 2008. They harassed me. My cousin died and then that distracted me. I went to Pokhara and tried to hook up with a woman again. And at that time I did not have much cash. I was losing cash and I tried biking in Nepal and I spent about 4 months in Pokhara and then returned to. I have no idea how to generate money. Uh, somebody charged my AT&T Universal Platinum Mastercard when I was in Pokhara, false charges, and I had to return to India. And then before returning to India, I entered Ooty. Before entering Ooty, there is a cousin who has built a gate into my mother's house, Gayatri, and there was a boy named Sumod, the cousin's son, jumped up and down through the gate, and I was distracted. They should not have built that gate, and I don't know. All this is part of result of my mother's death. Irresponsible actions of calling Bharat and Indra are not my family. They are separate people. There is no Palapata family or Konikkiradam family. Their joint family system existed only when there is agrarian economy. They have not invested in industries, and there is no reason I should follow anybody in Palapata. And this is extreme amount of suffering continuing because of some false values continuing. I don't know who is responsible for this. They create news like there is Ambani family with $70 billion wealth, and I don't know how somebody can have $70 billion of cash in. It's a company wealth. Similarly, I was with Sun Microsystem, and Sun Microsystem was a company, and Oracle is a company. So I should have been employed, or they should have paid me option several $1 million to lead a personal life in United States. $1 million, it's like having a few crores in India to retire and settle down. I cannot lead a life as a farmer after being an engineer and being with the yoga community. I should have been allowed to have some money to follow my natural urges and have a woman and have a home, and but it was prevented. And then I filed a dispute in Santa Clara Superior Court, and they gave me a date in March or something, but I ended a little late. And Fabricos Romeo of USCBP, a Filipino, harassed me at the airport and questioned me for 5 hours. I was proud and I surrendered that US permanent resident status. I don't have even a photocopy of that US permanent resident card that was given to me by Heidi Wilson and those caring engineers in Sun Microsystems during its heydays, and I surrendered that. After that, my problem started. I have to return and then stay in Gayatri, and my mother returned all the cash I have paid her, and that makes me sad now. And I returned to California again in September 2008 without a visa, and they let me in to dispute. They started a court case. All these people, it's a culture of Kalpati or some Palakkad, I think. Indians are into this court system, and they to run a court you need money. They are running court cases for till end of life. They control others' life. The Hindus and Muslims are the same. They are not liberated. They run court cases forever. They are not like Thais or anything. Indians are. I have never enjoyed sexual coitus in India. That's how much cruel Indians are to me. And so I landed in India, and I landed in US again, but they did not restore my immigration status. They created a court case with the Lawrence D. Costanzo and some Thai people also behind this, saying that I should be in Thailand, but then they should give me an employment in Thailand and make me live in Thailand. They did not employ me or give me options. and then I started spending forced after my two credit card maxed out. I don't know who recovered it. I'm suspecting again there is somebody in with the surname of Lapeta or their lawyers behind this who taken collateral for those two credit cards, or some banks know it. Anyway, it is not revealed to me. Whatever it is, I went through extreme amount of suffering in India for many. My mother shifted. My mother sold the house in 2010 and helped me. Before selling, after the son was sold to Oracle, I was attacked by low class people. I had a minor dispute with my mother because my mother is won't detach from the Takatatra village and relocate with me, and kept on having sympathy for the girl who I lived with in 90s and who didn't have sexual coitus with me. And so I had a dispute and I slapped her a few times, and I did not hurt her, I did not hit her with my fist or something. She was violent and throwing something, and to control her, I slapped her a few times. After that, the two members of my father's Konikiradam surname, V.K. Shankaravarma and V.K. Manigandan, came and attacked me in Gayatri. When they arrived in my home, I asked them to leave. Gayatri was my home. My mother was not present. They did not leave. They attacked me. And after I had blotched eyes, I went with those blotched eyes to Big Bazaar to shopping. After a few days, I kept on calling the KSAB to change my mother's name to Vishalam Prem Kumar from Vishalakshi KP. Some four people knocked on my door pretending to test the main switch, and they attacked me and took me held me hostage. They trained to capture people and put me in a sick low class psychiatrist Vishalam Care and Cure. And at that time my misery started. They destroyed my yoga body. I was doing yoga using YouTube clips. I was a member of My Yoga Online, and there was Namaste Yoga I was doing. I had a yoga body and a Pilates body. I remember using Ellen Barrett's Pilates clip also. I had a Pilates and yoga body. I was eating well. There is photos of me while in Krabi. I had an excellent fitness body, glutes and healthy body. I was a beer drinker and very healthy. And so I was attacked and made nervous, and those medications made me nervous, and they enjoyed making me suffer. I don't think my mother is responsible for this. My mother, there's this cousin's husband, there's a Sridhar who's a medical rep, a low class medical rep, and he's responsible for my mother being medicated also. They're into they think allopathy doctors are educated, and they're into Kerala is full of criminal hospitals killing people. There is no the Ayurveda in Kerala is different from the Ayurveda in Thailand. There are no spas like in Thailand. They are very conservative. I remember recently in Bangalore walking to a spa, and there's a woman saying it's a family salon. They don't want to massage me. That woman does not want to massage me. I don't know how they stay in business either. Because there is no family also. There there's a lot of businesses like this surviving, and anyway, that's a diversion. So they attacked me and hospitalized me and drugged me, and I lost track of I had fear, and my mother finally sold Gayatri Agathatra PO and gave me about 9 lakhs rupees. I did not deposit in Citibank because I was deranged and nervous and out of focus, and I created an account with Axis Bank. They claimed they were with JP Morgan and Chase or something, and I used that ATM card and used that 8-9 lakhs. I was not willing to enter United States with 8-9 lakhs. It's not possible for somebody to survive in United States with 8-9 lakhs. I should get an employment of at least $30,000 a year. While in Sun Microsystem I made about 100K a year. Or I should get some lump sum option settlement, at least a $1 million or $5 million. Then I can purchase a property and invest in small businesses and lead my life. I don't know how there are so many wealthy people, and I should be so poor if I start pioneer the browser usage in the user land. And so after they did not allow me to complete the Santa Clara Superior Court case. Who are the bankers behind it are cruel and responsible for the situation. They might have teamed up with this Pulapatas, Pulapatas, or like those like Bharat or Sridhar or whoever it is. I don't know what happened, but they did not employ me, and they did not employ me in Thailand also. And I created a course on self-exploration and entered US with $120 in July of 2011. And then they did not let me in. They wanted me to take a refugee status. Uh, why I should take a refugee status if I paid 32 credits in US Social Security? They should have just employed me in Harbin Hot Springs or Sagweja Valley View Hot Springs or yogaworks.com. Nothing like that happened. So this is like uh, I have to be always the customer with cash, and that worries me. And so then I thought that they are my service providers, and then but then they are not employing me. Um, After Sun was sold, I the Facebook company. I started using Facebook in April 2008, May 2008. I don't know how my situation has to do with Facebook, because I never had even one friend in Facebook. I had about 150 yoga instructors, but then friends has to talk something. They have to use chat or some email messages or something. They're silent people who use internet. They did not communicate with me, so I started worrying they used it as a business tool, and uh, called me a wealthy person. In 2007, when I returned from California after visiting Harbin Hot Springs, sitting at this Singapore airport, I noticed a spike of about 60-70 billion dollars in Sun Microsystems. I don't know where that money came from. When I reported it in message board Yahoo Finance, it was reversed. And after that, some security guard in Singapore checked my passport. My passport was Bangalore based. After that thing, that might be also the cause for the 2008 harassment at the airport. Somebody wanted to make a big case of that there's a corporate wealth involved. I don't know how all this $500 billion companies operate. They print cash or something. I don't know. I don't know how I can use Facebook, Google, $500 billion companies, and me having so less cash. I don't have a home. I don't have a home. I don't have a. I should have a home in. I should have had a home in California right now, and I should have rented it and traveled around. I should have. My mother should have been able to keep Gayatri and not have to sell it. So maybe that Bharat building a gate is responsible. Bharat has 3 children. So all these married people are taken care of by company human resources, and that's offensive to me. I have to leave alone, and I have to see them married, and married people keep employment and keep salaries, and that those HR policies are economic offenses to me. They will claim that it's my liberated. By being liberated, I did not add another child into the society, another burden. Those who have children have created problems for me, calling me their family or something. They cannot call me an uncle and make me work for them. It's offensive. So after 2011, my mother shifted to Chepilumuri Durga temple. They built a Durga temple also there. There is some few temples in Agatetra. I don't know how they survive. And my mother shifted from a Konikiradam area near a Kodarakulam pond to Chepilumuri, and I did not like living there, but I had low cash, and I had to take money from my mother. My mother supported 2 Thailand travels in 2013 and 2012, paid 2 and 3 lakhs, but that was not sufficient to solve the situation. So I did not get a settlement from Sun selling to Oracle, or a job in Oracle, or a job in New Age yoga communities. So they did not instruct Yoga Works to employ me. They have run some kind of Shaktayam or Shakti Sadhana group using my mother as a convener in 2004, and that Durga temple is somehow behind this. I'm not clear how they operate. but running temples does not generate personal wealth or resources. So I was stuck in that area where I don't relate to anybody. I am more like Kosan or like the trans tribe with Amy and yoga tribe. So I was forced to leave there near the temple, and they are not respectful. That cousin Shailaja and husband are not respectful to me. They had a child, Rohini, and that was she was married also, and they had a child, and they did not marry me. They did not solve the situation. Um, so that means the court case was not settled. Um, and then I had to hang out. I continued publishing my website. I did not get subscriber help. So somebody has running an organization has stolen subscriber help and employed too many authorities, and they have resulted in my mother's death, and that's cruelty to me. I wanted to give my mother, for my mother helping me create a course on self-exploration, some amount of money, but uh, my mother was controlled by those Pilapitas like Sridharan and Balan, and I don't know what they did. I am not responsible for their lives. I don't have any. Uh, I uh, I don't have any need to know anything about them. They have no right to contact me or control me. I'm not their family. I'm extremely sure. Um, anyway, in 2000, lately, I was attacked and hospitalized in 2000. 2000